Hi, welcome to Strength Reversed. It's Amy. Thank you so much for being here today, and happy summer. It is the first day of summer. It's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, so I finally have enough time to make a YouTube video, which I haven't done in a while. I guess I've had enough time before. I haven't been too lazy this summer, but I have been practicing some radical self-care, and there has been a lot of relaxation involved. So I haven't been exactly overwhelmed, but I thought I would do this VR. This is the hashtag Deck FOMO VR from April at Tarot and Witchery, and I first saw it on Jason's channel, Tarot by the Pines. And if you stay to the end, I will update you on where you can catch me on as a guest on some other channels. And also, Jason has sponsored a special summer edition of Smell-O-Vision. So that's at the end of the video. Don't miss that. I originally wasn't going to do this hashtag. Of course, I never see the original videos. I count on you, Jason, to do all the hashtags so I know what's going on out there in TarotTube. But I don't consider myself someone who has deck FOMO, but then I thought maybe that would be an interesting perspective. So here goes. I also realized when I woke up this morning that the questions and answers I jotted down last night appear to be in Klingon. I can't read my own handwriting, so we'll see. I'll list the 7 questions in the description box. Number 1 is what triggers deck FOMO? Nothing anymore triggers deck FOMO. Sometimes I get excited about a deck, but I usually have a procedure that I go through to ensure that I'm not buying decks willy-nilly that are going to lose their luster immediately. I'm not sure that FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is exactly what we're experiencing when we talk about deck FOMO. I think there's a fear of other things being missing when we acquire lots of decks that maybe we never look at again, or that ended up not really doing it for us. I don't know if FOMO is exactly what it is, if we're afraid that we won't be able to acquire that deck in the future. It might be something else, but we'll call it FOMO. Number 2, what is a FOMO purchase that you regret? All of them. Almost every purchase that I've made without doing homework, or without sitting with it, or without putting it on a list and letting it percolate, I haven't exactly regretted it, but I didn't get a lot out of it. And so after doing that half a dozen times or so, I just learned that when I purchase decks spur of the moment, I see it looks sparkly, I want it, it ends up being a disappointment. Not every deck is going to really click with you, and it's too expensive, and I don't have enough real estate on my shelves to buy a deck just in case it clicks with me. I have to sit with it for a rather long time before I finally purchase the deck. Now, some decks I look at and go, I'm going to own that deck. Like when I saw the Titanic Tarot, I was like, I'm buying that deck, and I just knew it. But usually that doesn't happen. Number 3, how do you set limits? Well, first of all, I don't go shopping for decks. So I don't look through the catalogs. I don't search Kickstarter. I don't usually watch a whole lot of walkthroughs or anything unless I specifically want to learn more about that deck, or I go, ooh, that deck looks amazing and interesting. Let me see what it is about. And sometimes by the end of the video, I'm like, it was really cool, but now I'm over it. So sometimes walkthroughs can help with FOMO, but I usually don't look for decks to buy. And so that keeps me out of that trap. Also, there is a list that I have. I'm sure lots of readers have this deck wish list. And if I really like a deck and I go, ooh, that's beautiful, or it calls to me, I will write the name of the deck on the list, and then I don't have to worry about forgetting about the deck. And I will just sit with it for weeks, months, maybe a year, a long time, to see if the deck calls to me, to see if I keep thinking about it, to see if I keep seeing it everywhere, to see if I'm interested enough to watch a walkthrough or look up the deck online and keep looking at it. And sometimes I sit with it. I've had decks on my list for like 3 years before I finally said, you know what? I still really like the way this deck looks. I'm still really interested. Let me go ahead and buy this deck. Number 4, how many decks do you own? I went through, and it was one of those things that I kept going, oh, I have to remember to check my purse. Oh, this drawer. Oh, that shelf. Oh, that one shelf in my living room. So decks popped up all over my house. And as far as tarot decks, I have about 39. I counted 39. That doesn't seem like a lot compared to what a lot of people on TarotTube have. They have 100 decks or more. But to me, 39 is plenty of decks because probably, 20% of them get used regularly. Number 5 is how many decks do you need? 1 or 2. There are lots of decks I wouldn't choose to part with. But if I could only own 1 or 2 decks, I would probably keep my Robinwood and one of the Rider-Waite versions, and that's it. Because, honestly, those really would meet any need that I have. I don't really choose decks based on the topic of the reading. If I read for myself, I choose whatever deck is calling to me, and if I read for someone else, I also choose whatever deck is calling to me and I feel is going to speak to me clearly that day. Because if I read for other people, I usually don't have even a question about, let's say, love or a relationship, usually morphs from something very specific to something very general. And so it starts incorporating lots of aspects of the person's life and lots of hidden patterns and lots of other things going on. And so to me, I don't choose a deck because it's good for love questions. I don't need the cards to have a certain theme that go with what I'm reading about. And for example, shadow work. For me, a shadow work doesn't have to be done with a deck that is necessarily darker. Just whatever, all the cards have a shadow aspect to them. And sometimes I don't even need tarot to do shadow work. It just kind of, there's plenty of shadow to go around, trust me. Number 6, a positive deck purchase from FOMO. There have been several decks that I haven't thought about too deeply that I ended up really, really liking. Like the Titanic Tarot, it was a quick, as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted it. I didn't really care if it was something that I used regularly or not. I just knew I wanted to go through it and look at all the pictures and contemplate the story of the Titanic and the history of the Titanic and how it related to those cards, because it was a topic that I find really fascinating. So that was a positive purchase. Is it FOMO? I don't know. But it was a positive spur of the moment purchase. But other ones, wouldn't say that the ones that I didn't click with like that are a negative purchase. It's just meh. And number 7, what are your thoughts on the current state of deck FOMO in our community? Well, again, I don't know if FOMO is exactly the fear of missing out. Now, I am not one to prefer indie decks over mass market, or I'm not one to get many versions of a deck, although I am planning to get the second edition of the Titanic Tarot because there have been different updates, and like I said, I'm super interested in that topic. But maybe if the Robinwood had another edition, I would get it just because I'd be intrigued as to what these possible changes might be. But as far as other decks, I'm not interested in constantly updating different editions or this finish rather than the glossy finish or the mass market versus the indie. I don't care about any of that. So, I don't know. What do I think about it? I think it's none of my business. It's none of my beeswax what you spend your money on. And if buying lots and lots of decks is your hobby or you like it, or I don't really feel like I need to have an opinion on that. It's kind of like, why would you, crochet instead of knit? I'm a knitter. I'm not going to tell someone else they're wrong because they're not into it or because they're into something that I'm not into. Like, I'm not into, anime. I don't think it's crazy or wrong for other people to watch lots of it. It's just not what I'm into. So if people are into acquiring tarot decks, I'm not gonna read too much into that. You do you, boo, okay? Anyway, smell-o-vision. So Jason sent me 2 candles. He was very nice to send me these in honor of school ending. And one of them was a lilac garden. Now, purple is my favorite color, and I usually don't like super floral candles because to me they smell, it's like Avon perfume. It's just too flowery. It's just too like fake smelling, but this smells so fresh and it smells exactly like real lilacs. Like when you walk by lilacs and you can just smell that fresh, pretty scent, that's what it smells like. It doesn't smell perfumey and gross. But I put these on Instagram, and the one that people picked for the smell-o-vision, so get ready, is Reset. I was intrigued by the title because I am all about the reset over the summer. And it says fresh air and sea salt, and it says water, salt. Okay, I really am at that age where I need reading glasses just on a chain around my neck. Does it say wind? Water? Okay, I don't know, but I will be doing smell-o-vision for Reset. Now, this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me on Rosemary's channel. That is Good Journey's channel. She is creating a deck, and it has been so fascinating to go through this process with her. She is doing 78 decks in 78 weeks, and so every week she studies a card and makes a video about her version of the card that she made over that week and the different versions of the card she went through and how she decided on every aspect of the card. And she does a live Sundays at 1 Eastern and tells you about the card, and then she'll pick the card for the next week. So you know next week what card is going to be talked about. Well, this week's card is Strength, including Strength in its reversed aspects. So I will be on there talking about Strength and Strength reversed and looking at her version of the Strength card, which I can't wait to see. You can get a sneak peek on her Facebook, which is Good Journeys Tarot. And then on Wednesday at, is it the 29th? Oh gosh. I think Monday is the 27th. So this would be the 29th at 4 p.m. Eastern. I am going to be on, I think it's on Carla's channel. This is Carla Astrology. And I will be on there with Maria from Lady Knight of Avalon and maybe some other people. And we will be talking about the 4s in tarot. So the 4s and then the Emperor and the Death card. And that should be a good time. So join me there. Okay. Let's get down to smell-o-vision. This is Reset. And close your eyes. I'm going to light this candle. Now, I am going to Tarpon Springs, Florida, and this is a Greek community, and it is also the place, the capital, the sponge capital of the world. So this is the place where they fish they dive for sponges, like sea sponges. And there's also a shrine to Saint Michael there that is has had many miracles reported. So I am going there, and it is on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I'm going to eat Greek food and hopefully get a miracle going. So I will update you on that, but this is like making me excited for that because we're going to Sunset Beach and watching the sunset by the ocean, the Gulf, and that should be a good time. So close your eyes, and I want you to picture a sunny day. I might have to blow these out so I can really sniff this candle. And I want you to picture yourself in a really beachy house with the windows open and walking out onto a wooden deck. And in front of you, the sun is setting in the sky. The sky is orange, and you can feel the breeze coming from the ocean, and you can hear the waves crashing, maybe a seagull here or there. And all you can see is water and sand and sunlight, and it's just a fresh breeze from the ocean. That's what this smells like. Not the smoke part, but it's so yummy smelling. It's just relaxing. And that is where I go to reset, is the ocean. It's just something about the water and the wind and this huge, water for as far as the eye can see. And it really puts things in perspective for me. It smells so good. I really wish you could smell it. I hope that helps you smell it a little. Thank you, Jason, for sponsoring Smell-O-Vision, the summer solstice edition of Smell-O-Vision. And I'm going to relight this so that my whole room smells like that. I just couldn't put my face in the flames. Anyway, I will let you know about my little trip to Tarpon Springs, and I hope to catch you on Rosemary's channel, Good Journeys Tarot, and also on Carla's channel, and I will see you soon. Bye.